Swiss National Library. I would like to give you a short overview of the access system that we implemented at the Swiss National Library. I start with some information about the important requirements we had at the beginning of the project, and then the main use case. Then I continue with information about the architecture and the technical solution before I come to a conclusion. If you have questions, please interrupt me at any time. Here is a high-level overview of the most important requirements for our access system. Our preservation environment comprises not only the web archive, but also theses, dissertations, commercial and official publication, as well as digitized material. This means that the access module has also to deal with all types of digital material. For the user interface, we had to respect some restrictions. The layout was predefined by the federal administration, and we had to offer an interface for visually impaired people. One important requirement was a detailed and scalable access management based in roles and brackets. Our goal was to use an existing identity and access management system. Multilingualism is always an issue in Switzerland. It's not only to create user interfaces in 4 different languages, it is also the indexation for the full text search that differs from each language to another. I will explain it later. And some metadata like Dewey classification or names of collections or institutions that have to be translated. Another requirement was a simple full text search as well as an advanced search that comprised a combination of full text and metadata search. We wanted to use the Wayback Machine as a viewer for the websites. And as access was the last module of our preservation system, a lot of requirements came from the existing environment, like metadata structure, interfaces with the database and the storage, and the format and structure of the AIPs. This slide shows our main use case to give access to our digital publications. Metadata of all publications are fully available for all the users, but the digital publications itself are not. So the user can search for publications by using the full text index and metadata. Only when the user wants to access the digital publication itself, the system checks the access rights. The system never delivers a digital publication directly from the preservation area. This for 2 reasons. On the one hand, preservation area stores cardboards that must be unpacked first, and on the other hand, there are some security issues. The main part of this cache system is dynamic. Often accessed publications are residing in the cache, others aren't and must be kept from the storage. In this case, access informs the user when he has to wait. He can ask for an email or an SMS when the publication is ready for consultation. At the moment, our cache is quite big, so that it contains most of the publications. And in addition, we have a permanent cache for websites because we want that the user can surf in the archive websites like in the real internet. And also because our process to make websites available is too slow. In addition to the archival storage, we have a local storage for digitized material. If we have an analog original in a good quality, we won't spend money for the preservation of an additional digitized copy. So the low-cost storage is more or less only for access purposes. Let's take a look to the architecture. There were different components to integrate. Data management and storage components still existed before we implemented the access module. This is this green part here. And we decided to use an existing central identity management system, this one. Furthermore, we planned to use our existing web management system, web content management system for text blocks and help information. This is because we wanted to change this information ourselves as easily as possible. This is this part one here. As part of the access system, we implemented Solver UC for full text indexing and search, and the cache system I mentioned before for the user access. When we started to define our requirements, we intended to carry out the public tender. But then the steering committee decided to give the development to the internal IT provider of the Swiss administration. That means to the Office for Information Technology, Systems and Telecommunications. Our access system is based on Java extended with the I-spaces for the user interface. In the background, Oracle is running, as well as Solver UC for the full text indexing. Because of the server standardization in the Swiss administration, we had to use SUSE Linux Enterprise as operating system. The big challenge of full text indexation is the multilingualism. The quality of the indexation is much better when the language of a document is known before the indexing process starts, so that the language-specific work can be done. Fortunately, the language of the publication is known and is part of our metadata, so we can use metadata. But we also have multilingual documents. Theses with abstracts in English or in another language, or official documents in 2 or more languages. In this case, we are using default configuration. Our hit list has 2 levels. The first level shows a list of applications, and the second level contains a list of files for documents with hits. As we decided to operate with these 2 levels, we had to make decisions on the ranking. Here is our solution. The document in a publication with the highest ranking is used for the overall ranking of the publication itself. This one and this one, for example. On the second level, the documents per publication are listed in order of their score or ranking. First publication with the most hits, and then the other. Full text indexing is a complicated task. There are a lot of details to consider. For example, segmentation of compound expressions in German, but also in English, like spreadsheet or Hauswart or things like that. And the question is, should compound expression be segmented by indexing the documents, or should also search terms be segmented? Our access system segments compound expressions by indexing, but it doesn't segment search expressions. Besides the bibliographic information, the user interface gives some more metadata that are size of the documents. This is important in context with the downloads, and some facets like publication place, publication type, language, publication, and also information about accessibility is important. The rights management is a central part of our access module. This allows us to comply with the agreements that we make with the content owners. We use an external identity management system, and the idea behind is to have a single sign-on on the Locher. This external system, in this external system, we record the users and assign the roles. The access system gets this information from the identity management system and checks then the availability of the publication for this role. For our reading rooms and also the reading room in cantonal libraries, we have the opportunity to create info stations. We define a special user for doing that. When we log in with this user, a cookie is left on the browser that gives more access rights than a normal user has. This cookie remains so that the next time you don't have to log in for having this extended access rights. The installation of the cookie is registered. If it's copied to another computer, the server will detect the address. All our archived websites have the same access right. That means a user has access to the whole web archive, or you don't have an access. We have done this for technical reasons. At the moment, it is too complicated to control the access rights every time a user is serving from one web document to another. For legal reasons, the access to our web archive is limited to the reading room of the National Library and the 26 cantonal libraries. So, now I'd like to come to an end. Our access is a mix of existing tools and new development. On the one hand, this allowed us to reduce the development costs by using existing components, obviously. On the other hand, we have to deal with a highly modular environment. That means quite a lot of different systems and communication interfaces. Change of one of these components we discovered influences all the others. We also detected that access plays an important role in terms of quality assurance, quality control. Some errors, especially in the metadata, we only discover now as the access module is running. I think among several weaknesses that our access system certainly has, there are three main strengths. The inclusion of the web archive in the digital collection and the accessibility within the same interface is the first one. Full text search in combination with some metadata is a second one. And the access management is the third one. Our access module is available on this address www.ehovetica.md if you would like to discover it. So that's it. Thank you for your time.